Microsoft Office is a powerful piece of software, but for beginners, it can seem daunting. Today, we're going to go from start to creation, from beginning to end. How do you create a PowerPoint presentation and how you actually present this PowerPoint presentation? Well, at least how the mechanics of the slideshow work. Let's get into it. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Adrian Reddix, and we're talking about PowerPoint for beginners. Before we get into the guide, you should know what PowerPoint is and what you should use it for, right? So PowerPoint or anything like it, Apple Keynote, Google Slides, OnlyOffice presentation, LibreOffice Impress. So basically they're slideshows that you would use for different presentations. Like if it's a business presentation, and a lot of these virtual meetings, ever since everything shut down, a lot of people are using slideshows to do educational things, or they'll do different things like trainings or anything where you have an audience that you want to convey information to. A slideshow helps that. And that's what these programs do. Specifically, what we're talking about today, PowerPoint. So let's start creating a PowerPoint. Before you get into the actual creation, you got to understand who you're creating this for, right? You have to get into the mindset of what I'm presenting and who I'm presenting it to. What we're doing is we're taking my daughter's fictional donut shop, Doppelus Donuts, and we're presenting to my son's fictitious video game company, Cash Money Kid Video Game Studios, and they're going to present a catering presentation. Doppelus Donuts is trying to get the game studio to let them start providing donuts for them on a daily basis. So now we are doing a sales presentation to the video game studio, right? So we got to keep that in mind. So we know we're doing a sales presentation. My philosophy on PowerPoint presentations is it's three main parts. You have your title, you have your body, and you have your end page. I think every PowerPoint presentation needs to have those three things. You need to have a beginning. Hey, this is who we are, whatever. The body, what you're actually presenting, and then the end page, because all three of those things have very important functions. So let's get into that right now. All right, so let's go ahead and start from the absolute beginning. You want to go to your start menu and you want to go down to PowerPoint. You'll pop up with this. Let's start with a blank presentation. So this is the title page. I think it's the most important part. This black and white, it's a little plain. So let's add a little design, because people don't want to see a plain thing. If you're going to present something, you want it to be eye-catching and appealing, right? So we're going to go to the design tab, and any one of these is fine. You can go online and go get templates from Office or anything like that, but we're going to keep it simple. We're going to pick one of these. I think this one's pretty good, so we'll go with this one, right? So we're going to type in our company name. It's going to be Doppelus Donuts, and just do something. Let's see, making mornings better with donuts. Okay, I want to add a logo to this page for the company. So what we're going to do is go to insert. We're going to go to pictures right here in the images on the ribbon tab. And I'm going to pick from this device, right? And I'm going to go to downloads, and I'm going to go to, or wherever your picture is, and insert. There we go. We can resize. See how it has this arrow right here? Take that arrow and we'll reduce the size down and put it right there. So Doppelus Donuts, fantastic. And what I like to do when I'm doing a sales presentation, or sales presentations that I've done for me, some people go the extra mile and put the company logo that you're doing. So we're doing Cash Money Kid Video Game Studios. So we're going to insert another picture from this device. Let's go to downloads, and this is the logo that I made for Cash Money Kid Studios. And it's all about creativity. You can see this crosshair right here. That's how you move the picture around, right? So take that right there. And now we have Cash Money Kid Video Game Studios. So this is the title page. The title page is the introduction. This is what we're going to talk about. That's how we do it. So since this is a sales presentation, the next thing I would do is do an About Me page, right? Or you can go to Home and go to New Slide. And when you click on this drop-down menu for New Slide, different types of slides, right? So we're going to keep it simple. We'll do one that has content on both sides, right? So right here, we'll put something like About Dopolis, About Us, right? What do you do? This is a chance on a sales presentation to show, hey, this is what we do. This is what we can provide, right? You don't necessarily have to have the photo or the logo here. Let's see what kind of stock images that Microsoft has, right? So here you'll see a whole bunch of things that you can use in your PowerPoint presentation. So click here, we're gonna look for donuts. No, don't. Here we go. Let's click on one. I like this picture. So we're gonna click on it, hit insert. And we have donuts. That's awesome. But you don't want to be too text heavy, and you also sometimes you don't want to be too image heavy. So you want to have a balance of the two, right? So here we're going to we're going to add some text, right? So my rule when it comes to PowerPoint presentations is if you're using bulleted points, you only want to use 3 to 5 points per slide. If you're going to put a whole bunch of text on there, why can't you just print it out and have them read it? This is a presentation. So what this is just a tool to help you through your presentation, right? You can put your highlights on the presentation and you don't have to sit there and read it. Because if you're going to sit there and read it, what's the point? I think in a sales presentation, you want to tell the people what you're going to do for them, right? So what we're going to do is add another slide that tells them what we're going to offer to them. All right, so what we're going to do is go back to Home and go to New Slide. We're going to drop down. I think we're just going to do the one that has just the title and content, right? So we'll name this something like What We Can Offer. So what are some things that a donut company can offer a video game studio? So the reason why we're not being super specific on these bullet points is because this is just there either for reference. So if we're going to do something like, hey, we offer daily delivery before start a business, we can go to a little spiel about how we deliver donuts to a bunch of different businesses around town. We can do this, we can do that. You don't need all the information on the actual PowerPoint. Even when we're talking about a great variety of donuts, you don't have to put like cruller or glazed or filled or powder, because you can do that in the presentation. Like, hey, we offer a whole bunch of donuts. We have this, that, and the other. Because this isn't here to do the presentation for you. It's there to help facilitate your presentation, right? It's a tool that you can reference back to if you want to make a big point. So your big points go here, and all the filler and the details are what you're doing in an actual presentation. I think the next thing we can do is we need to show off some donuts, right? So what we're going to do is go back up here to Home and go drop down to new slide, do the drop down. And what we're going to do is what we can do before we do that, let's add a little something here, right? We need to insert something because it looks a little plain. All right. So what we need to do is go to Insert, Picture, and we can do stock images once again. And we're going to do donut. There we go. Let's do, I don't know, this donut. Insert. Boom. It's way too big, but remember, we can resize it. Take it, resize it down, and then just make it look good. You can always pull from corners, and I never pull here because it distorts the way the picture looks. So we can hit the back button and go back. So always pull from the corner to keep the proportions good. I think that looks pretty good. You know, it adds to the slide without it being overwhelming. So let's go back to Home, and then we're gonna go to New Slide again, and we're gonna just I just want to do a title only because we're gonna add a couple pictures, right? And this is, we'll say, our fabulous donuts. So what I'll do here, let's do a like array of photos right here. And let's go see if we can go find some donut pictures. But make sure any pictures you use are pictures that you have the right to use. You don't want to use somebody's hard work and either not give them credit or you don't have permission to use it, right? So try to stick with places like stock photos, or Pexels has some good ones. So let's go to Pexels and we'll see if we have anything as far as different donut shots. It's free. Only thing you have to do with Pexels is give them credit. So you can give them credit at the end. We'll show you how to do that. Oh, I'll show you how to do it. There's no we, it's just me. So donuts. Have a couple donuts. I think we'll use one of these donut pictures. We're gonna use this download. You can either donate if you like or things like that, but we're gonna give this person credit also. All right. So we know that person name is Tijuana. I'm not sure how to say that name, but we'll give them credit. Let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. And what we'll do is, since we've downloaded that, we'll go to Insert, Pictures, drop down. We're gonna go to this device, right? I'm gonna go to whatever folder you have that saved in. We have this saved into our downloads folder. Insert. And now we're gonna resize this and we're gonna move it around. I think we can add some more to this. We're gonna go to stock images again. And we're gonna look up donuts once more. Do this one, insert. And this is just playing around, making everything fit. It's gonna be really, really good. I think maybe 1 to 2 more will suffice also. These powdered filled donuts look pretty good. And yeah, we'll pull it around. You could put stuff on top to add a little contrast, or you know, hey, how's that? I think that looks really good. So now we're getting to the end page, and the end page is another page that I'd like to use to re-engage and let people know, hey, you can find me here, or here's the end of the presentation, things like that. So let's do that. Let's go back to home. We're going to insert new slide, and let's just do title and content. All right, we'll do the end. All right, we'll make that a little bigger. What I want to do, let's make this bigger, and I like to center it. Let's go ahead and add hey, follow us. Social media, we'll do something like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Check out our website at whatever your website is. And that's how I usually like to do it, wrap up. And maybe if you have like a tagline or something like that, the best donuts you'll ever try, right? And this is where we also go back and give credit to, I'm gonna try it, Tijuana Dinardarsky. If I said that wrong, you know, I apologize. So let's go here. Let's do a text box that pops up, and we can copy and paste their name. Right. So now let's move this over here, and we can put something like some photos by this person. And we can put that in the corner right there, or over here, wherever you want to put it. And I think we need just one more donut picture. I know, fantastic. So let's go back to insert and go to pictures. Let's do one more stock photo, a photo that we hadn't done yet. We can do cooks, right? We can show like these people, and this is our team. We'll add them to this photo, and yeah, make sure everything lines up good. and you have created a slide presentation. So what we need to do is make it a little more interesting, right? So let's talk about animations and transitions. So a transition is how you get between the slides. So if we go to the slideshow right now and we go to start from beginning, you'll see that it just goes from here to here to here. And that's fine. If that's the type of presentation you want to do, that's okay. But what I like to do is add a little razzmatazz to it, right? So you have to know your audience, right? So what transitions work well for other people, for different types of audiences, right? If I go here, that's just a simple fade in, and that's good. So what happens is, so whenever it comes on, if we go back to slideshow, whenever it comes on, you'll see it fades in, right? So if we go from here to here, I like to keep the same transition or similar. I wouldn't do more than 2 transitions, especially in a sales presentation. If it's something like for kids or something, you may do some fun ones, but that's neither here nor there. So it really depends on your audience and what type of company or what type of presenter you are, right? If you're a fun presenter, you may do something like, I have an origami one. This one, let's say it's an origami one. So if I go to slideshow and origami. So, but we don't want origami. We want to keep it simple. So we're going to do a morph. And each one of them, we can have just a simple one. Nothing too fancy, right? So if we go back to slideshow, now when we go through the slideshow, we have some nice transitions. It's pretty good. Another thing that people do are animations. You can go section by section and you can add different ways of how things drop in. Usually I don't like to have animations on the first slide because that's the presentation. That's, hey, I have this up when everybody comes in the room. So the title slide, I usually don't do either animations or presentations. Animations or transitions. It's just not something I do. So we can take that off. So the second one, you can definitely do that. So let's go to animation tab at the top and you click on this box and you can have different types of how things come on the screen, right? So you can do shape, and then over here, this is another section. So let's do another wipe. So let's look at that in the actual slideshow, how that actually looks. So go here. So you have this right here. I can hit this, about us, and see how it keeps coming in. All right, so now, so you can do that. I would definitely tell you, just like transitions on animations, keep it very simple. So now let's go to the actual slideshow portion. So how do you do your slideshow? No problem. Go up here to the top, hit slideshow. And you can either do, I usually tell, if you're looking for how a transition on things look, I would go from current slide. If you're doing if you're from the beginning, I do from the beginning. So I click from beginning, right? And how you're going to navigate or go through it, if you don't have a click or anything like that, you use the space bar. Space bar is going to get you through your presentation. So hit space bar. Spacebar brings this up. Spacebar is what gives PowerPoint the signal to go on, right? So spacebar, spacebar, spacebar. Oh no, I need to go back. What do I do? So you see this right here? It's I need to go back to the next slide. It'll go back. Okay, well, I need to keep going back. Okay, I'm back to that slide. So you don't have to actually exit out. You hit the escape button anytime to exit out of a presentation. So you can just go through and, hey, this is about us, and go through all these things to give you a presentation, right? And if you ever had to go back, you can just go back. And that is a pretty basic crash course in slideshow. And that's pretty much how to create a PowerPoint. PowerPoint can be a very valuable tool, and now since you have the basics down, you can go and do a lot more advanced things. How do you typically use PowerPoint? Is it for sales presentations? Is it to present to your classroom? Or is it to present some type of training to people who want to learn? Let me know in the comment section. If you want to learn more about the presentation side of PowerPoint, I have a video about that right here. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one.